Are you human?
Yes, I am. Yuri.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Yes, I swear.
Hey, God finna be mad at me.
What's your favorite color?
Red, what's the color of your nipples?
Anime's recently been cool. There haven't been one that like touched me in the right place lately, but Gnosia scratched some spots I didn't even know could itch. If you disregard a good handful of plot holes cause it is based off a game you can play, you can literally get it off Steam. No sponsor, just saying. But I might have to give it a try, not gonna lie. Among Us lobby meets time loop, but instead of completing any task, he's either getting or giving ass? So we got Yuri, who wakes up on a medical pod on a ship and is informed by Zetsu to follow them to a meeting with the rest of the crew. They have to decide who's the Gnosia infectee, which is someone who got taken over by Gnosia and will eliminate humans on board one by one. The Gnosia can accurately mimic anyone's mannerisms and personality. Everyone on ship don't even know each other for real, since they all are refugees who escaped the planet Luan that suffered an attack. A Gnosia happened to infect one of them on board. So all they have to do is discuss amongst each other and vote on someone they think is sus, then put them in cold sleep. So out of these 5 crewmates, Gina, SQ, Rakio, Setsu, and Yuri, one of them has to be Gnosia. What's so harsh is that the first vote is just a guess, since they have nothing to base their decision off of. And here's the kicker, Yuri got injured when they escaped Luan and is suffering from amnesia.
And you may not believe me, but I don't know anything about myself. So, I'd like us all to survive.
So they end up voting Rakio, the most intelligent one, to cold sleep. And if the lights stay red, means the Gnosia is still among them. The next day in the meeting, there's only 3 of them. Yuri, Zetsu, and SQ. Gina was murked by the Gnosia during the warp. So the Gnosia is either SQ or Zetsu, and Zetsu's claim is SQ, and SQ's claiming it's the other way around. Yuri is basically the tiebreaker. Yuri votes Zetsu out cause SQ gaslit Yuri into not trusting Zetsu, leaving SQ, the real Gnosia, with Yuri. And I'm not gonna lie, I kinda gaslit myself into not even guessing cause I'm like, this good plots if the person that you imprinted on and semi-trust is actually Gnosia. Just taking advantage of your amnesia. As a viewer, I didn't know who to vote on. I might actually have to play this game, but put me in the same position like in real life, I'm voting SQ just off the simple fact that I imprinted on them. Cause once I start second guessing myself, it turns to third guessing, then fourth guessing. I would have messed around and probably voted myself out. Yuri wakes up in the med bay again, while Zetsu is escorting Yuri to the meeting.
Setsu, I made it back. Thanks to you.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
So before SQ dealt with Yuri, Zetsu gave Yuri this doohickey that gives Yuri a second chance to repeat the same day again. So they back at square one trying to figure out who's Gnosia. This time, Zetsu gets the throwaway vote and Rakio is murked during the warp, leaving Yuri, SQ, and Gina. Yuri is the tiebreaker again, so let's weigh our options this time. We got a second chance to not get eaten out by the Gnosia. Let's look at all the evidence. Gina wanted you to trust her so bad, she went out her way to do some trust exercise. Anytime somebody's trying to go out their way to prove something about them, 8 out of 10 times, it's the opposite. If they overly trying to prove how trustworthy they are, they'll slime you out in an instant. Another thing to consider, Zetsu said,
Trust no one.
but your naive ass went and exposed the fact that you can rewind time to Gina and Rakio.
Because you're not rewinding time, you're repeating it. Each world line has infinite possible pasts and infinite possible futures.
Meaning SQ might not be Gnosia again and Rakio died that warp. Only other person in the room was Gina. Not accusing, just seems suspicious. And let's not forget the gut feeling you had.
Are you human?
Yes, I am. Yuri.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Now our other option, SQ. Only evidence we have against her is that she was Gnosia the first time around. Yuri, I think me and you know who Gnosia is, bruh.
I got it.
No, you bot! Look at the evidence! So Yuri's back at it, getting escorted again, and this time there's 2 more randoms on the ship.
They're saying there's supposed to be an alien on the ship.
Okay, Yuri sold the last 2 obvious loops. Now adding 2 more people to the mix, it goes from hard difficulty to impossible. The first 2 loops are kinda impossible if there are no other roles. If it wasn't for the little evidence that was showcased, there's literally no way to successfully find the Gnosia. It's just luck. Especially in this current loop, there are now 2 Gnosia. But Rakio gets the throwaway vote, and Zetsu is murked during the warp, leaving Yuri, SQ, Gina, Shigemichi, and Stella. The 2 Gnosias is Gina again, and Stella. Yuri knows it's Gina, but can't convince the others, and Stella put it on God she's not Gnosia.
Yes, I swear.
Hey, God finna be mad at me.
So Shigemichi gets the vote and it's a 2-on-2, so once there's an even number amount of Gnosia and humans, it's over. So back to day 1 in the meeting room with 2 Gnosias, and a new role.
Engineer credentials.
The engineer has the power to examine one person before each warp to determine if they're Gnosia or human, then informs the crew during the meeting the next day. And it seems like the Gnosia is kind of forced to claim the role of the engineer to discredit the real one and cause chaos, to try to hide among the humans. This time, the two Gnosias are Shigemichi and Rakio, and their plan was slick foolproof. Rakio came up with it. His plan was to claim the engineer role, let Shigemichi back the real engineer, which is Yuri, but Rakio gets the throwaway vote for his arrogance. Shigemichi can still clutch it up though if he murks the real engineer, but he doesn't and chose to eliminate Gina during the warp, and Yuri chose to investigate Shigemichi because he voted for Yuri even though he was the one backing him up. So the rest vote Shigemichi and the lights finally turn green. Everybody happy as shit. Yuri finally got a dub.
Guess what time it is? Party time!
No, what happened? SQ was fun to start throwing shit, and Yuri looped again. A new character's unlocked, Yuriko, and she's out here just speaking foreshadownees like nobody's trying to hear that shit. SQ was about to throw some shit, bro. Yo, lock in, nigga. What are you on? Alright, bruh. Just get me off this loop. Yuriko just blew my shit. So next loop, Yuri learns that Zetsu been capping. They've been looping this whole time. Then they explain to Yuri how the silver key works. It basically locks a person into an infinite loop, transferring their consciousness to different timelines, just so the key can feed off information. Every time the host learns something new about someone, the key will gain a drop, and the host won't stop looping until it's filled to the brim. If that's all I gotta do, I guess we playing a different game. Comment 21 questions now.
What's your favorite color?
Red. What's the color of your nipples? So Yuri basically keeps on looping, playing the game over and over again, episode after episode, loop after loop, trying hard not to be put in cold sleep so she can learn the most lore about everyone. Watching them have this meeting over and over again, it doesn't even get repetitive or boring. Since more characters get unlocked, more roles are introduced, like the Guardian Angel that has the ability to save a person during the warp if they can accurately guess who the Gnosia will eliminate, and the Doctor. Its ability is they can confirm if the person that was put into cold sleep is Gnosia or human. The roles and the amount of people playing isn't the only thing changing. There's timelines where Yuri's a woman, Shigemichi trying to bag Stella, Comet accidentally causing the death of most of the crew, Kakrushka going berserk and purposely causing the death of all the crew, even a time where Yuri is Gnosia, alongside Smooth Brain Comet and Shigemichi, where Comet throws Shigemichi under the bus accidentally, and Yuri has to carry her to a win. But seeing it from the Gnosia perspective, you see how the Gnosia eliminates people, and they're not necessarily evil since their humanity seems to still be intact. They really just trying to survive. Throughout all these loops, the key is putting Yuri in specific timelines where it can learn specific information. And after Yuri learns this, he realizes Yuriko been in every loop and pulls up to her room, but she's not there. Then he enters the
It took you long enough. I truly believed you were more intelligent than that.
You telling me every loop she been in here just staring at nothing, waiting for Yuri to talk to her like an interactive NPC? Or she just ore farming like she dead, she dead got it. She got it. But Yuriko obviously knows some and not trying to share with the class, but tells Yuri,
I'll tell you everything.
but doesn't and eliminates her during the warp. The next loop comes around and Yuriko is the one Yuri wakes up to. Okay, ha, very funny. Is you gonna tell Yuri what you know or you gonna keep bullshitting?
By surviving this loop, I will share my truth with you.
But she volunteers herself for cold sleep during the throwaway vote.
I volunteer for cold sleep.
Like, what's wrong with this dot? She wanna be the MC so bad.
I don't play a leading role like the engineer and the doctor do.
Type of bitch to get RKO'd. I don't hit girls at all. But finishers is acceptable. I didn't touch her, I just touched her with this.
But after Yuri survives the loop, he loops again, but instead of being in the med bay, he wakes up in his room. Also, this timeline, no one got infected by the Gnosia.
This vessel successfully avoided infection.
Which seems like a good thing, but Kakrushka talking about the universe going to end. So this timeline already has a Yuri in the med bay, and the loop Yuri in this timeline is causing the whole world to collapse on itself. How is this possible? I'm gonna try my best to explain it, because while the universe was collapsing, Yuriko was still speaking in cryptic. So apparently Yuri was eliminated by Gnosia on day 0 and bugged Yuri awoke in her spot. But in a timeline where Gnosias don't exist, Yuri was never eliminated, therefore bug Yuri cannot exist in that universe. Wait, so don't that mean the key was never ever looping her consciousness to begin with, since there was never a real Yuri for bug Yuri conscious to transfer to in the first place? And if that's the case, don't that mean she shouldn't exist in timelines where Yuri is Gnosia, because Yuri would still be alive since real Yuri wasn't eliminated because Yuri is Gnosia? And don't that also mean that Yuri...
Definitely get off my back about timeline stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a free pass to do whatever I want, so definitely don't bring it up again. Gotcha, that's my bad.
So long story short, Yuri can't exist in this timeline where the ship is not infected by Gnosia, or the world will end. But Yuri keeps looping back in her room, and every time the real Yuri wakes up, the world ends. Again and again. He even tries to offer herself multiple times, but she keeps on looping. Like, I don't even know why she even thought that would do anything. Like, you already know what the key wants. It wants you to learn something in this specific timeline. I just can't tell you exactly what it wants you to learn. But I for sure would have paused the medbay and asked Comet 21 more questions. But after Rockio spelled it out for him, Yuri finds out what the key wanted to learn, and he loops back in the room again, but this time it's day 0 before the ship even took off Luan. The real Yuri is still in the medbay, so Bug Yuri has hella time to figure out what the key needs to learn, and pulls up on Zetsu, but this Zetsu has not been looping and don't even know what the silver key is. So later on, after Yuri comes from getting help from Daddy Rockio again, the ship get hit by something, causing the shields to go down and some debris to go down on Zetsu. So Yuri quickly tries to help them, but it's unable to, and runs back to Rockio, who left his silver key already knowing Yuri gonna come back for it and give it to Zetsu to save them, officially starting Zetsu's first very loop, which results in Yuri key being full. Now Yuri's back on day 0, on the ship with no Gnosia infectee, but I thought she can't exist in the world with no Gnosia. That's absolutely right. Zetsu uses Yuri's filled key that opens up a portal. I guess when it fills up, it opens up a portal to a new universe and takes the real Yuri so Bug Yuri can live happily without Zetsu.
So what does that mean?
That means there's either no Yuri or Zetsu in that universe, or Zetsu would be causing that universe to end again and again since Zetsu key's not full yet. But Yuri doesn't like this ending and gets another silver key from Rockio, then starts looping again, but still no Zetsu. After countless loops, Yuri finally fills the key again and wakes up to Zetsu in the first very loop where SQ was Gnosia. So Zetsu can give Yuri a silver key again to finally end Zetsu's looping. All planned by our Daddy Rockio, by the way.
Nah, you know you want a drink of this tall glass of water.